back to This Week in Film. It's week 51.
Ooh, 51.
This is the podcast where we get together every week and we talk about a movie we saw over the past week, where we use the word week a lot.
This week in film.
This week, I'm Nick Panunto, joined as always by Ray Radaminki.
Yes.
And pretty soon, Matt V will be here.
Matt's a little tardy. He'll be reprimanded.
And he's running late. And he'll be here soon. It'll be awkward when he shows up.
We're awaiting his awkward entrance.
But we figured to save us some time, we would just go ahead and start the show. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll go first. Yeah.
Okay.
This week I watched a film called Eye in the Sky, directed by Gavin Hood, and starring Helen Mirren, Aaron Paul, and the late Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman.
This is one of his last films before he passed. And also Burkhad Abdi. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Take a guess.
No.
He is the Somalian pirate from Captain Phillips.
Oh,
I am the captain now.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
him. Guess what he plays in this film?
Pirate?
A Somalian.
A Somali? Okay. On land?
On land, yes.
Branching out.
That's right. Did you know? Sorry, little side story here.
Please.
For that movie, they just went to apparently Minnesota has a wide or a big Somalian population.
Really?
And they went to Minnesota and they just looked for people who looked like they would be creepy.
Oh, right.
I guess for that movie, and that was the first movie he ever acted in.
Yeah. I know that I guess there's a story that I'm the captain now, he made up. He improv that.
Oh, really?
On the set and blew Tom Hanks out of the water. And
well, I know that also too, we're completely getting off topic here.
let's just talk about Captain Phillips.
Right. That was
great.
the first time that Tom Hanks had ever seen him before.
Oh, that scene?
Yeah.
Oh.
Tom Hanks had never met him and never seen him, and they thought it would be best to, I guess, keep him away, and then his natural reaction to seeing him was that first time.
Yeah, that works. That was a very good movie.
Yeah.
I really liked Captain Phillips.
Which I did not watch this week. This movie, Eye in the Sky, was not as good as Captain Phillips.
No.
It is a military drama about drone warfare.
Oh.
So it's kind of a complicated plot. The movie takes place in a bunch of different, it bounces between a bunch of different locations. So you have Helen Mirren, who is, I'm trying to think of what her title is in this movie. She's a colonel for the United Kingdom Military Intelligence. So she's in a base in the UK, underground, one of those bases where you got the TVs everywhere. There's all kinds of people on computers. Your typical military base, military op base. Your
CENTCOM.
The place where they're always searching for Jason Bourne.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody's on the computers. You know what I mean? That type of spot.
Okay.
Then you have Aaron Paul and his partner. They are drone pilots, and they're stationed in Las Vegas at an Air Force base in Las Vegas, and they're flying a drone that is in Kenya. Okay. So basically, they're in Nevada, with their controls and everything, big screen, but the actual drone is in Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Alan Rickman, who his title is, he's a lieutenant general for the UK military. And he is in a boardroom with all the UK, all these UK bigwigs that are overseeing this operation. And the operation is that they're trying to capture this woman who is, she's a U.S. citizen, or no, she's not a U.S. citizen. She's a UK citizen who has defected to Kenya. or not defected to Kenya. She's defected to a terrorist organization, and she's been carrying out terrorist acts for the past couple of years. She's like number 3 on their list of like top targets.
Mm-hmm.
And the mission is to capture her. So the drone is up in the air, and they have people on the ground. The guy from Captain Phillips is one of those people working for them on the ground.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay. Branching out.
Right. So they have officers on the ground, and the plan is for the Kenyan military to raid this house. So basically, I'm kind of talking all over the place here, but sorry. So
I'm following.
There's a house in this Kenyan village that there's going to be a meeting, and they're recruiting these 2 American defectors, and they're meeting them there. And apparently, this woman is going to be there. They have intelligence that this woman is going to be there. So the plan is for the drone to watch overhead, and for when the time is right, for the Kenyan military to snatch and grab this woman, capture her, bring her back to the UK. So everything's going accordingly. You're bouncing around all these different spots. You're kind of seeing how, each position works with the other position, how they communicate with each other. That part was kind of cool. Then, while they're watching this house, they realize that they need to get inside because they can't ID this woman. She has like a headdress over her head.
Mm-hmm.
when she was in the car on the way to the house. They were hoping to ID her when she got into the car before she gets over there. They can't ID her, so they realize that they have to go into the house. This is where the movie kind of starts getting a little far-fetched, because now I don't know if this technology actually exists. No, maybe it does. I mean, I'm not a military expert, but
You're not?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
But I play one on TV. The guy from Captain Phillips is on the ground, and they decide to have him operate this like fly-looking thing. It looks like a fly, but it actually has a camera on it.
Like a fake bug?
Like a fake bug, right. And he flies the fake bug into the house.
Okay.
And like hangs up in like the rafters of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And is able to see everything that's going on in the house.
I was going to say, right before you started saying this, they fly the drone into the house, but it's wearing a disguise.
Not quite, but almost. So he flies this thing into the house. He's basically sitting like outside the house because he has to be in close proximity to it. And he has like a phone, and he kind of looks like he's on his phone, but he's really flying this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Once he gets in the house, they ID the woman. It is her.
Mm-hmm.
So the mission is to go to get her. But then while they're in there and he's shooting all the different rooms, they realize that there is another room where they're preparing to strap up suicide bombers.
Oh.
And take them to an undisclosed location.
Right.
So that immediately sets off a chain reaction where Helen Mirren is like, we got to blow this house up. Like, I don't care if the plan originally was to capture this woman, we need to blow it up because these people are about to carry out a terrorist act.
Mm-hmm.
She runs in a whole, a rigmarole with like chain of command, people approving it. Since the mission was originally set to capture, you can't just completely change it to kill.
Right.
You have to go through a whole sort of like chain of command of people who have to approve stuff. Alan Rickman wants to do it. Basically, the movie's so weird because everybody like wants to do it. Like everybody wants to blow this house up, but the only thing that's stopping them is like the rules of engagement and like all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then even after they get all that and they get the approval, like the Secretary of Defense for the United States has to approve it because the 2 other guys that are being recruited were U.S. citizens. So they need approval from the United States to kill U.S. citizens.
Right.
And Alan Rickman's like, you don't need his approval. Like blah blah blah. Like we already had approval to carry out this mission. Like you don't need his approval. And they finally get in touch with him. He's at like a ping pong tournament in China, and they finally get in touch with him. He's like, why are you calling me? Like you don't need my approval for this. He's like, yeah, blow the house up. Like he's like,
he doesn't care.
This is stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, right when you think, all right, they got approval to do this, a little wrinkle gets thrown in. There's a young girl selling bread outside the house.
Oh.
So Aaron Paul is about to pull the trigger,
And
to blow
can
this house
see
up,
her
and he
on
sees the girl.
camera.
And he's like, this changes everything. Even though he has no authority, he's just flying the drone. If they tell him to blow it up, he should blow it up. He claims that now the what's the word? The collateral damage now changes.
Yeah.
So now they need to go through the whole chain of command thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the movie's a bunch of arguing about what's right and what's wrong, which brings up, points. I mean, these people are going to carry out a terrorist attack that's going to kill, dozens, hundreds of people. Do you kill this girl to stop that? Or do you save the girl and then risk way more people dying? So that's like the biggest question of the movie.
A lot of ethical.
Yeah, a lot of ethical stuff. So that part's interesting, and I mean, and I thought the acting was good. Aaron Paul, though, in the role that he's in, is kind of hard because even after Breaking Bad, it seems like he's kind of always played like a tough guy ish. And he's kind of like like kind of, I don't want to say like pussy, but he's he's just like if you join he makes a comment at one point like, why did he join the Air Force? And he's like, I graduated from college and I was broke, and this was a job that was 4 years guaranteed pay. Just like, well, why are you flying this drone? Like, shouldn't we get somebody else who's more qualified? So stuff like I was nitpicking the movie a lot. That the little fly that flies in the house, I thought was a little far fetched. The way that the military reacts with each other, it was a little weird, and the chains of command, the whole thing, and everything. I mean, it just seemed a little bit off. It just seemed unreal. The movie seemed unrealistic to me. But it's a movie. It's Hollywood. You got to kind of take the good with the bad. So it's an interesting film. I thought it's very well done in terms of like bouncing back between all the different locations. It looks very good. The whole drone process is interesting. I didn't really know much about like how. I mean, they fly these drones like I said, like they're in Nevada and they're flying this drone in Kenya, and it has the capacity to just blow up an entire like town, and it's carrying all these missiles, and most of the time all it's used for is just for surveillance. Right. But at any time, if they want to, they can blow something up. Yeah. You just have to get approval from all these different places.
Thinking about it brings up a lot of interesting questions. But like you said, I mean, it just kind of sounds like here's modern war, just mired in red tape. Right. Which is just like listening to you talk about it sounds frustrating to listen to, but imagine when you're watching it, you're supposed to put yourself in those people's positions. Shoes, yeah. And if you think about wars of the past, one, you wouldn't have a situation where you're flying a robot bug, but
well, you never, like I said, you never know. Maybe we do have that technology.
The people who would be making those decisions are the soldiers who were there, right? But now with modern technology, the battlefield exists right in front of the people who make, like the higher ups, right? Where the decisions that they made aren't specifically about the mission, but more about what are the ramifications of this politically tomorrow, kind of a thing.
And they bring that up too, like in military, like the one guy from the British government, he's like, militarily, it's right to kill this girl, right? But politically, it's wrong, right? He's like, so I need to.
Well, like you said, that argument is one life worth 15, kind of a thing.
Exactly.
But that's cool. That's a lot of interesting questions. And then the conflict with Aaron Paul, where in the old days, like if somebody was flying a fighter jet when they're above the battlefield, literally, they'd have to make that decision and that call. Right. Whereas now you have someone flying it in front of a computer with their boss standing behind them saying, just pull the trigger. Right. Kind of a thing. Or they can reach over your shoulder and push the button. Right, true. Kind of a thing. So
that doesn't happen in this movie, but
spoiler alert.
But something does happen. I'm not going to ruin the end, but something does happen. Mm-hmm. And the trickle down from that, you're shown too. So yeah, it's very interesting. It was one of those movies where like it always used to pop up on my my Amazon. I watch on Amazon Prime. Always used to pop up on my Amazon Prime like recommended movies, and like you like kind of like already know what it's about and like know what's gonna happen, and like
don't want to have to go through it.
And that's kind of what happened. And like I watched it, and I was like, all right, that was okay, but it's exactly what I expected it to be. Like nothing. It didn't wow me at all. But no, it's not a bad movie at all. It's good. It's definitely interesting. It's not long either. It's about an hour and a half. So if you have that time and you want to watch something that's interesting, if you're into military stuff, yeah, I definitely recommend it.
All right, awesome.
Yeah,
I kind of want to check it out now. Based on all that, but I agree with you about the Aaron Paul. Like I haven't seen Breaking Bad yet. I know, but
Oh, okay. Well, then you don't even have that then.
Well, no, but like I know, like I've seen like all the things from it. Like I know that he works with Bryan Cranston, and they're bad guys and whatnot. But it seems like he makes poor movie decisions for the most part.
Yeah, like
I feel like his goodwill is starting to run out.
Oh, definitely. And he's really not even like he's Oh boy!
Look who's here.
He's really not. He's not the star of this.
Finger guns.
He's not the star of this movie at all. Like Helen Mirren is the star of this movie.
Oh really?
And Aaron Paul is definitely a supporting character. And I feel like with his rise to fame with Breaking Bad,
I'm gonna open the.
Yeah, like you said, he definitely could have made some better career choices than Eye in the Sky and what was the other movie? A Need for Speed.
Yeah, which is a movie I don't think anybody watched.
Yeah.
What, Aaron Paul?
Yeah.
I
watched talking about Eye in the Sky, which I think you saw, right?
I saw Eye in the Sky.
Matt's here, everybody.
Hey, Matt, how's it going?
Ups and downs, strikes and gutters.
Yeah, so Ray was just wrapping up our very insightful conversation about military intelligence and bureaucratic red tape.
Oh, all right.
So, Eye in the Sky.
You have
nothing to add?
I didn't like it.
Okay.
I found it to be boring, and as Aaron Paul's character is very much in the movie, I myself was also very uninvolved.
What's interesting is like hearing you describe it. It feels like a modern Hunt for Red October, where you have all these different
like
governments
spots.
communicating with each other, trying to solve one thing, but it sounds like it just doesn't work the same way.
It's just like I said, like you see the trailer for the movie and you're like, all right, I got it, and then like you watch it and like, yep, that's what I thought it was. You know what I mean? Like it just didn't.
Yeah.
There was nothing special about it. But
I mean, like that was my big thing with the movie. I went to the theater and saw that movie because I got nothing to do most days. Lacking a friend. If you guys want to be friends, please hit me up on my Facebook page. But
I don't have his email address. So
hit me up. But the movie itself, I found to be just really was lackluster, and everything that happens, they hit all the plot points in the preview, and they don't really deviate from that.
All right, so just watch the trailer.
Yeah, the best character in the whole movie,
Movie's 2 minutes long,
was the guy from the Tom Hanks movie, Captain
Phillips.
Yeah,
we talked about that too.
Yeah, that was the best character in the whole movie.
Yeah, well, he's on the ground, so he's got the most interesting role. Everybody else is just at
Aaron Paul
in front of TVs,
disconnected,
controlling like flying a drone. It's like, oh, that's not really that exciting. He's sweating a lot and got his finger on the trigger the whole movie, and you're wondering if he's gonna pull it. He's like, all right, well, do I even care if he does?
Well, you have to watch the movie and find out if you care.
What do you think the best Aaron Paul movie?
That's what we were just
talking about how like he hit gold with Breaking Bad.
I really liked. Did either one of you guys see Hellion?
No, I know what you're talking about.
That movie is very good.
But he's made some like really weird like choices.
Yeah,
like when you're on a big TV show like that, you have like 5 years.
Yeah.
To really like make your mark, and like he's really not picking good movies.
Oh, he was in the Gods and Kings movie, that Exodus Gods and Kings.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Small role in that too. He's like a bit character in all these movies.
He was a bit character in 999 too. Did you guys see that movie?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. No,
I really like his new show, The Path, though.
Oh, I haven't seen
fan
that
of
yet.
that show.
That's on Hulu, right?
Yeah, watch
Hulu.
Yeah, I'll give him my login.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
If you want Matt's Hulu login,
Yeah.
send him an email.
Send me an email.
I think it's 3 or 4 episodes back.
Yeah.
Gave away his Netflix account for a couple of weeks.
You know, I gave away my friendship for free too. You guys want to?
You wanna be friends?
Let's not get creepy here.
Oh man.
Go out on a date, get a firm handshake.
Yeah, firm handshake and stutter.
Well, I this week watched Monsters Inc.
Oh,
Classic.
It's not my first time seeing it, but it's the latest time that I've seen it. If you're unaware, it stars Billy Crystal and John Goodman as monsters.
Mike Wazowski,
And Sully,
the Polish monster.
the one-eyed. It's directed by Pete Docter and 2 others, according to IMDb. It's a Pixar movie, so there's a lot of hands in it. But Billy Crystal and John Goodman play monsters who work for a corporation in a world where children's screams power their city.
Yeah, like the electrical grid.
Yeah. And basically they work as they scare children. Every night they scare child after child after child. And eventually you find out that there's an energy crisis going on where children aren't as scared as they used to be. And a human child gets lost in the monster world, and then that's where the movie really picks up. Kind of like that. One thing that I really wanted to bring up that the latest time that I watched it is I have a feeling that this movie takes place in the early 1960s.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Because all the digital displays in the movie, like the numerical digital displays, are all these. I don't know if you've ever heard of a Nixie tube.
No.
But it's like the vacuum tube with like the old-fashioned digital numbers in it. They look cool if you've seen them. They have like that 1960s, late 50s look to them.
This Week in Tech History.
Right. It's this other show that I'm doing. But I think Nixie tubes are really cool, and they're like kind of like hipsterish, fashionable right now. They're kind of making a comeback. Yeah. They're like this pre-digital technology, but it's still digital. I don't know. They look awesome. Look them up. Nixie tubes. You'll see them and you'll recognize it. Anyway.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so my other clues about this are all the children in the movie all have like old-fashioned toys. Nobody in it has like phones or any like modern like stuff. All the TVs are old and small, like those old style 4x3, like from Back to the Future kind of a TV.
I've never seen anything like this before.
This Nixie tube thing. Are you looking at the same thing I am?
Yeah.
Is this?
Yeah.
Or it's like counting down?
Yeah, those things. Like the old style, like
Yeah,
sci-fi.
I've never seen these before.
They're just like a digital thing. They're cool.
If you say so.
Great
They're
for,
cool.
Great for radio.
Yeah,
Nobody can see
let
what
me
we're talking
describe this picture poorly to you. But they're really cool, and all the cool kids like them.
Wait, so is this like a clock? I'm confused as to what the function.
It's a clock. It's a clock.
It's a digital
And
clock.
apparently it was popular back in the 60s.
Back in the
And
60s.
they're abundant
Right.
in this movie, so Nick is saying that.
Right. Well, like in addition to like the style of the decoration, at one point they walk through their neighborhood, and it's got like that old timey Brooklyn kind of feel with like the neighborhood grocer who's like, hey, kids playing jump rope in the streets. Anyway, just a bunch of little clues like that. But in addition to that, the sequel to Monsters Inc., Monsters University, is really a prequel. It takes place like 10 or 15 years before the events in this movie. And it has that real 1940s kind of college feel where they're like at Harvard, that nobody has a TV in any of their dorm rooms. And
Everybody's
things
wearing
like
like
that.
the sweaters with like the letters
Yeah,
on them
exactly,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's like it's like a
Cheerleaders.
throwback kind of movie, but like they never emphasize it or even discuss it at all. It's just here's the time period that this movie takes place in.
It's like a sock hop.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
No, that's an interesting point.
I looked online for a few things like that. I didn't really see anything about it, so I figured I would point it out. Oh, and I want to point out, in the movie where they slide their card, all the other doors down. A guy we work with, Stretch, pointed out that those numbers that pop up are the birth dates of the animator's children's.
Oh, that's a little
cool
little Easter egg.
Neat little thing.
How did he know that?
He knows
lots of things. But that's there's a bunch of little facts that I could go into about it that I read on the IMDb trivia page, but I will save us all from it because I'm sure I'm gonna have to watch Monsters Inc. again. And I'll bring it up later.
All right.
One tidbit from that movie that I know from from watching The 20. You guys know what the 20 is?
Nope.
You get to the movie 20 minutes early, and they show the.
Oh yeah.
Is that Billy Crystal turned down the role of Woody?
That was literally what I was about to start talking about, but I chose not to.
Oh, I'll stop right there.
No, we'll keep
Billy
going
Crystal
now.
turned down Woody.
Yeah,
because
he didn't like the script at first, and he didn't realize what they were going for with the computer animated movie.
Yeah,
and he calls it one of the big regrets in his life is turning that down.
Tom Hanks got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, who was in Captain Phillips.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
So Matt,
yeah. Where do we go from here?
Bring us home, Matt. What do you got?
Man, this little gem that I saw this week. It was called Victoria.
Now this is a movie I was interested in seeing, but I have not yet.
It is on Netflix again. Guess what? Round 2. You guys want my Netflix account to watch this movie? Email me, MatthewVitri@gmail.com. Anyway, this
There
film.
it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Invite.
He's offering
I'll
his
be emailing
Hulu
him for my
address,
Hulu
too.
account.
Hit me up.
Free Hulu and Netflix.
Yeah. So this movie came out last year in 2015. The entire movie, I was really interested in this movie, not from the story. Like, I didn't know anything about this movie other than the fact that the whole thing is shot in one take, and I found that to be extremely interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you look it up, there's only been 5 or 6 movies. I think it's like less than 10 that have been shot in one take.
Russian Ark is one.
Yeah. Birdman is not one.
Right, Birdman
is not one.
There's a lot of tricks in Birdman.
Tricks. Rope is not one.
A lot of tricks in that one too.
But this movie is shot all in one take, and I didn't watch anything about the making of, but this movie looks like there's a ton of improvising the scenes.
What is it about?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, geez, wow. The story's pretty good. It is about a young Spanish woman who has just moved to Berlin, and she encounters 4 men one night after clubbing, and so
I've seen a lot of movies like this that are all one take.
So this movie, oh my god,
Your eyebrows were appropriate.
well, it's not like there's no scenes like that in this film. You're laughing hysterically up there.
Yeah, they're called news conferences.
So should I spoil this movie a little bit?
That was
or?
terrible.
What do you guys think?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, cool.
Spoiler alert.
Here we go. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Coming in. All right. So
Is her name Victoria?
her name is Victoria. How'd you guess? The movie's directed by Sebastian Schipper. Yeah. Sebastian Janikowski of the Oakland Raiders has made a movie.
That's first Sebastian that popped into my head.
But I have to say one big thing about this movie that I loved was the fact that I don't recognize any of these actors from anything. And
Is it foreign or is it?
yeah, I believe it's a German movie. So the movie's got German subtitles. They speak English in the movie a lot.
You know a lot of German actors?
No, I mean, I know the one who was in Inglourious Bastards. All those guys. Anyway, so the movie is about a Spanish girl named Victoria who moves to Berlin and works in a cafe as a manager. She doesn't speak German, so when she meets these guys, they're speaking German to each other the entire time, and she has no idea what they're saying. So they're living in Berlin, like I said. They leave a bar around like 4 o'clock in the morning. The whole thing takes place over the course of like 2 or 3 hours. It's like a real time kind of gig. But long story short, the 4 guys, one of them had been in prison. And there's a lot of like bouncing around between this before the story gets to this. But one of the guys had been in prison. And in prison, he was protected by someone. And now he's out and has got to pay the price of having been protected in prison. And they are all kind of have to go to this meet where these gangsters tell them you have to rob a certain bank of $50,000, give us $10,000, and you guys keep the rest. And otherwise we'll hold this girl hostage. So this girl is basically, throughout the course of the movie, just puts herself in weird situations and she just makes like terrible choices. But it is
like White Girl.
Yeah, but it is it very much like does feel like White Girl at the end, because she seems to just go back to her life, and she's really only been hanging with these gangsters. Well, not like gangsters, these guys for like a night. But it is interesting because none of these guys really consider themselves to be gangsters and like hard asses. None of them want to rob this bank. They do it. They get away with it for a little bit. Then there's a shootout with the police. Her and like her main, I guess his name's Sonny. Her and the main guy, male character, they get away and they go to a hotel where he eventually dies from a gunshot wound. And then she just leaves. All the other male actors in the movie also die. They all just go out in epic battles with the police with like gunfights. And all this is one long take, and it is freaking amazing to watch. I don't know. The whole thing feels like one choreographed ballet, even though most of the shots it feels like shoulder cam. It's not shot with like a movie or like a 3-axis gimbal or Steadicam. So it's very choppy and confusing.
A lot of handheld.
Yeah, a lot of handheld. So it's very there's like a lot of confusing. The style is very confusing, as is the story. It really plays into it. I like that a lot. There's a lot of different colors in this movie. It is very good. I was very surprised. I thought the movie was going to be very boring. I thought it was going to be like a sappy love story. Again, I knew nothing about the story going into this. I just saw it on Netflix and Googled it and saw it was all shot in one take, and that really interested me. And you guys should all check it out. It is very good. It's one of the better technical movies I've seen in a long time. And the acting is pretty good. I have to say the female lead she's very good. Ray, you'd love her. She's way better than the girl from Homeland, acting wise, and also.
I thought the Homeland girl did a tremendous job.
I thought she was fantastic. Ray has a big problem with it.
Nick still can't stop thinking about White
Girl.
I tell you, this movie is like White Girl in the fact that I can't get it off my brain. It is embedded in there. These like shot sequences, the what is going on like on these characters. I keep wanting to put myself in the mindset of these characters who are, some of them are getting violently sick because they don't want to rob this bank. Yeah. So I'm not going to drag this out, but yeah, everyone check this movie out. If you guys want to watch it, feel free. Maybe we'll talk about it again later.
Email Matt for Netflix.
Yeah. Just one quick thing. I do feel like sometimes, with a movie like this, with the one take thing, like Birdman comes to mind. I mean, even though that wasn't shot with one take, but they try to make the illusion that it was. Mm-hmm. That can become distracting. Especially if you know before going in, because all you're worrying about is that. And you're not really paying attention to the story or what's going on with the actors. Like for Birdman, Birdman's an awesome movie, and when I saw it the first time, all I was looking for was how they were making this one take, or how they were getting through this. It was only after the second time that I watched it that I really appreciated the movie for what the movie was. So I feel like sometimes I don't want to call it a gimmick. I guess it kind of is a gimmick because you're letting everybody know that you did something. You almost
accomplished the impossible,
right?
Yeah.
So I do feel like that sometimes can take away from the movie. It can take away from the plot.
It makes it. I understand what you're saying.
It's a distraction.
It's
from
definitely
the
a distraction.
Yeah, and the movie kind of becomes like a caricature of itself, and that
right.
Yeah, this didn't have that because they very much set up the shots and the camera just kind of sits still. The camera's not constantly moving. So when they set these shots up, they're talking, and then the camera's just kind of spinning back and forth between the characters. So you don't really notice for a good portion of the movie that it's one take. And I kind of forgot all about it, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, that's good then.
Yeah.
Like, for example would be like, there's a lot of movies that have long, the movie's not shot in one take, but they have long takes.
Children of Men comes to mind.
Children of Men comes to mind, which apparently that
3
wasn't.
massive long takes that are phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things where, like, I didn't notice it at first.
Yeah.
And then I had somebody had to tell me, did you realize that scene was one take? And I'm like,
Yeah,
no, I didn't.
I didn't realize that either.
And then you go back and watch, and you're like, this is incredible. And that's the type of thing. It would almost be like you would have to watch this movie. Like, we ruined it for everybody who's listening, but like you have to see it and not know that. And how long would it take you?
Yeah, before you realized
it.
There's another movie I just saw on Netflix called Too Late, which is really good, except for the main character. I think John Hawkes is the main character. Sings like a country song. But the movie is 3 long takes, and it's 3 different portions of the story. It's very much like a Tarantino style in the story structure, and it feels like a P.T. Anderson movie because like it's crazy like long, like these crazy like long sweeping takes,
right?
But it becomes very like it harms like the end of the movie. The last like 25 minutes of that movie, you're just like, they didn't have to do this. They could, if they cut away, this would be way more interesting. Or like, it feels like it's wasting time. Like you're watching people just walk for 5 minutes.
Yeah, just to get you to the next.
Yeah, here
part of the movie.
In this movie, these characters talk the entire time, constantly the entire time, and it's never boring. It very much feels like real life where they're...
Is that our...
it's one of our fans.
All right. Hey.
Hey, hi.
Hey, John.
Hey.
I thought they wouldn't show up this week, but there they are.
Yeah, stalking us again. Anyway, yeah, these characters, they talk constantly, and the movie almost, like, you feel like another character, like you feel like you're there hanging out with these people.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I feel the same way about a found footage movie.
Right.
Where they're constantly trying to come up with a reason for why the camera is still on.
Right.
And then as a viewer, you're like, why wouldn't you just turn the camera off?
Yeah, it's like,
you know, like
I'm
out of the movie because
the new Blair Witch did a cool thing with that. They made the cameras attached to was it glasses or
I don't know, because I almost watched that this week and I was going to talk about it, but I didn't know if you had already watched it.
I liked it. I mean,
watched it.
it's if you saw the first one, it's a lot like the first one, like a lot. Like it's almost like an homage to the first one, rather than being a sequel. But I forget if it's cameras on the glasses. They're not holding the cameras, so it kind of gives you a little more of an excuse. They're not like picking up like when there's something shitty happens. They're not like, oh, let's grab the camera and run. Like they're always turned on, and they're always so that they kind of like. I thought
it's pointed
cool.
where they're looking.
Right, exactly. So I thought
say what you will about the first Blair Witch. I still to this day think that when the last the camera gets knocked over in the very end of that movie, spoiler alert, I mean the movie's 20 years old, that if you would have just saw like floating feet like pointing to the ground go across the camera, that would have made the movie 1,000 times better.
I disagree.
I like the movie.
That movie scared the crap out.
That movie was terrifying, but I still think like they never seeing the witch.
And the new one,
never seeing the witch was perfect.
Right, and the new one scared me too. I
haven't seen the new one.
I mean, a lot of people had problems with. I know Charlie, used to be on the show. He wasn't
Charlie.
a fan of it.
Published author.
So
published author.
But
Where's an ascot?
Yeah, if you want to watch that next week, I'll talk about it.
All right, I will.
I'll try to watch it too.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
For those of you who don't know, the episodes of this show might slow down in the next couple weeks. We're going to try to keep putting them out, but my wife is going to be having twins. Yay! Any minute now. So if we don't show up for a week, sorry.
Yeah, Nick's kids are going to ruin the podcast.
I'm a little busy. We're trying to bank a couple of episodes here and there, but finding the time is a little difficult. But Yeah, we'll try to watch Blair Witch for next week. How much time we got? We got some time, fellas.
We had a question last week on my Facebook page.
No, we didn't.
I know.
That was you, apparently.
It was still me. No.
Would you like to ask that question?
It's a good question.
For this coming week? Because
Yeah.
we didn't have one last week.
I think it's a good question.
Okay.
Did you see the question, Ray?
No, I didn't. I would like to hear it.
Oh.
Doesn't sound like we're stalling at all.
No. So it says, I just asked the question and get away from the...
Just a goddamn question.
My God, Jesus, calm down. Low blood sugar
Ask the
on this
question
guy.
that you wrote on your own page through someone else's profile.
What do you?
And-
I
what do you
neither
skip
confirm
Bayless?
nor deny that happened.
and not put it on the This Week in Film Facebook
It says,
page.
why do movies that take place in different countries always use actors with British accents? I.e., and he wrote Leslie Miserable.
You wrote.
So
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables, Gladiator.
Les Mis for all
Did
the
you
fans
just
out there.
misread your own?
No,
question?
he wrote Leslie Miserable.
Yeah, you did.
I did not write that. Gladiator, 300, etc.
I can answer this question very easily.
Thanks. Keep up the great work. Brighton Cassell from Orlando, Florida.
Ooh, Brighton Cassell.
Oh,
Interesting.
sounds like the name of a winner.
So
That's how you win a fan.
simple thing. So like, if it's an American movie, what are you gonna have it in subtitles? People don't like subtitles. I don't mind subtitles, but most people don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have a movie in subtitles. What's the best way to make foreigners seem like they're foreign? Give them accents.
You can't, yeah, but you like Les Miserables takes place. They're all French.
Yeah, but it's an American movie. People don't want to read subtitles.
You can't just have them speak with French accents.
You're gonna get Russell Crowe to speak with a French accent. You can't even get him to sing.
He's an actor. I don't know.
No,
It's hard enough to get one person to speak with an accent.
Actually,
so if you get an accent, you get an accent.
so I prepared for this,
Oh, I'm sure you did.
and because I don't want to let Brighton down, and apparently, Ben-Hur was the first movie to do this. Yeah, and it just so happened that one of the characters had a British, like a very thick British accent that he refused to get rid of, and it worked so well that they just kept doing it in old Hollywood. And I guess they never got rid of it. I don't know, but yeah, I see what you're saying, Ray. Like you don't want to read subtitles, but
Yeah, I mean, I agree that it's like,
you also wouldn't have a lot of the people being able to understand each other.
I agree that it's like annoying. You're like, wow, these people this is like Germany and they're all speaking why are they all speaking English? But like, what else are you going to do?
I mean, I just watched
Yeah.
Victoria. It's like you have Germans, you have someone from Spain. They both speak English, and then they're both like she's speaking Spanish throughout the course of the movie, and these German guys were speaking German to each other. That to me was interesting because they couldn't, like, there was a language barrier there. But yeah, when you're like doing Gladiator, you
Hunt
wouldn't.
for Red October. We were talking about that earlier in this show. I mean, that show starts out in Russian, that movie starts out in Russian, and then they zoom in on the one dude's mouth, and he's speaking English, and you got Sean Connery playing a Russian sub commander.
Right.
You know, I mean, they're just gonna plug an actor in and hope that he brings in the box office.
Yeah.
I mean, does the Hunt for Red October lose anything with a Scottish guy being a Russian sub commander?
No, but I think Valkyrie definitely loses like a lot where you have
Tom Cruise vehicle.
you have Tom Cruise speaking like perfect English.
Is it
And
because
everyone-
he's got an American accent?
Well, everyone else in the movie is speaking like with a German accent, and he's not.
If he had a Scottish accent, though, you probably wouldn't mind as much.
Don't you talk bad about Tom Cruise?
We did a
Tom
cruise
Cruise
slam.
makes some
We did a
damn good
cruise slam
movies.
last episode. I thought that's.
Actually, I'm not even a big Tom Cruise fan. Either.
I watched.
Tom Cruise.
I can guarantee you one thing. This new Mummy movie he's going to be in is going to be horrible.
Yeah,
It
well,
looks-
I just
it
saw
doesn't
Jack
look good.
Reacher Never Back Down. I don't know what it was called.
Oh,
Jack
you said
Reacher.
you weren't
Never
going to
Go
talk
Back.
about it.
I
here
because
you are.
I
You're
don't want to
talking
make
about it.
enemies with Tom Cruise, but yo, bud, what was that business?
Is it no good?
Oh, it is awful.
Oh,
It is awful.
That's a shame. The first one isn't.
I've never seen the first one.
I don't
First
understand
one's
why
not terrible, but it doesn't know what kind of movie it wants to be.
it wants to be like The Firm, but he's an ass kicker. I don't.
Yeah, it wants to be like a law movie, but also a Jason Bourne
This
movie,
movie is
but
like
also an 80s action shoot 'em up.
This movie's got like paternity tests going on in it. Like he
Well, that's
may or may not have a
hot
kid.
reach right now.
You ever see Maury Povich? That's what all the episodes are anymore.
You are not the father.
It's awful. The movie.
Lie detector detected that was a lie.
Hey,
But I mean,
At least
there's like 20 different Jack Reacher books.
books, yeah, but at least in the first movie, I really like the fact that they cast Werner Herzog to be the villain, and I thought he was fantastic.
Can't do it with Paul F. Tompkins.
But
All right. Well, we no longer have time to play a game.
well, let's have time. Oh, come on.
Nope, you blew it.
What you said to talk about?
You were You said you weren't going to talk about Jack Reacher, and you still talked about it. You still snuck it in there.
It infuriated me.
It cut to the core of me.
Yeah.
I sat there and stared at the TV after I turned it off, just thinking.
All right.
Awful thoughts.
Ray's random request.
Yeah, you got
That
for
was
us, right?
That was his
No,
was
we
it? Oh.
talked about the question. No, you have a question.
I wasn't thinking I was going to have to ask a question this week.
You got one.
Ray's random week. Ray.
You ruined it.
Ray's random week.
Ray's rating
It's
us.
hard, isn't it?
Ray. I'm not even going to try anymore.
Ray's random request. Rated R. Starts Friday. and
Rated
finishes everywhere.
R.
Thursday.
Well,
I guess I could have gone with Saturday, but
I really don't have anything. I'm trying to think. Oh, you know what? When you were talking, what is a movie that you saw that had a gimmick, like the one take, or I'm trying to think of something else, like Hardcore Henry.
oh yeah, I
has
was just
the,
thinking about that when we were
has the
talking about it earlier.
POV thing.
Mhm.
There's another movie that does the POV thing
what's
too.
the movie that James Cameron's wife? That sounds. I'm such a
What's her
sexist thing to
name?
say. The woman who won the Oscar for The Hurt
Yeah.
Locker made a
Catherine
movie.
Bigelow.
Yeah.
What is that movie she made where the guy's wearing like you're seeing point of view shots throughout the whole movie? What is that movie? Takes place like in the year 2000, like a New Year's Eve. It's a
Dark
really
City?
good movie. No, it's similar. I'm gonna look it up. Keep talking. Sorry.
So that's one, and it doesn't even have to be like a whole movie. Like I know.
Oh. Damn it. Oh.
I know that one.
I have
There's that one movie. What's it called? The Brown Bunny,
Yeah.
where Chloe Sevigny gives oral.
What?
She gives. She does a sexual act to her boyfriend at the time in the movie, and it's real. Like she really does it.
Oh.
Oh,
So
it's
that's-
what's
so
his
that was
face?
like-
who is that?
That was like the gimmick to see that movie. Like it's real. Like it's an actual real act, and like it's one of those things where like it takes away from like the actual movie. All anybody remembers is that from it. So like name him.
I met that actor. He pulled a gun on a homeless man when I met him.
What?
What?
Anyway,
because he directed the movie too. I think, right?
he's made like Buffalo 66. Hang on,
Oh, that guy?
Vincent Gallo.
Yeah, Vincent Gallo.
He was there used to be this place in North Carolina. This is like 10 years ago. That would it's a big warehouse with old camera parts, and he was there, and
And you were there for some reason?
yeah, I was like there like looking for like old film camera parts, and for this like thing we were working on, and he like pulled a gun on like a homeless man. He was like came up to him and started asking him for $5. And I was like, I'm not talking to that guy. He's freaking
Maybe
nuts.
the most random fact ever on this show.
Anyway,
Wow.
Strange Days.
Allegedly.
Strange Days
Allegedly.
is the.
pulled the gun.
I'm not Charlie. These things actually happen.
Allegedly.
Strange Days is the. name
Catherine
of it.
Strange
Bigelow.
Days. Oh,
Yeah,
thank
Catherine
you.
Bigelow.
God,
I've never seen
I
that.
had it. I never saw it either. I never saw Dark City either. I hear that's very good too.
But like another movie would be Sky Captain of the World of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Was shot entirely like green screen. Just like stuff like that. Movies that like before you see it, there's a gimmick or like a
Something
catch,
that's tricking you.
something
into
that's tricking you into come see it. And
Like Sin City.
Sin City was I guess Sin City came out a little later, and that was more common then. But Sin City, stuff like that, where like it tricked you into go and sing it. And did you like it, or did it take away from
Like I spit on
the
your grave.
experience? We're like, well, let's not name all
They
these
call me
examples
Goldeneye.
because nobody's gonna have any answers to the question.
Oh, all
But yeah, that's my
I-
question
I
this
have
week.
answers. All right.
All right. Great. Plugs? Anything?
No plugs.
Matt, you giving away your Netflix again?
Yeah, hit me up for my Netflix. Follow me on Instagram at Matt Vitri. Yeah, Ray and I are gonna go to we're gonna go floating
My friend did it and was telling me all about it.
What did he say?
He said it was pretty cool. He did say that he did it for an hour and he thought it was a little too long.
Yeah,
He kind of got bored.
It's 90 minutes. To
90
me,
minutes.
Yeah, 90 minutes. But like the
Naked
time.
floating.
Yeah, but like when I did it, you lose track of all time, and it felt like
He
I was in
said-
there for 25 minutes.
He said he didn't lose track of any time and he felt like he was laying in water for
That would
an hour.
be the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said it was cool, but like he was like after 40 minutes.
There's
he's like,
also
"All right,
another.
I'm
You
good.
start
I get it.
splashing
Well,
a little bit, you're like, "Ba, ba, ba."
There's also another cool thing that we can go check out too. It's like freezing recovery.
Oh yeah. I've seen the videos
So
of that.
I got offered to do that for free as well.
All right,
You wanna-
I'll do that too.
We'll go float and then we'll
what's
go
that?
freeze.
It's like you like stand in this thing and it's like crazy cold.
yeah, the
like
feeling.
fry-
This sounds terrible.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of like celebrities doing like
Here,
videos
like,
of celebrities doing it. Like celebrities post on their Instagram pages of them like in it.
Don't be distracted by the beautiful celebrities.
Yeah, a lady friend of mine has done it.
Firm handshake kind of girl.
You know, maybe rub a few elbows. You know.
But yeah, I definitely do that.
Yeah.
All right, and this has been Matt and Ray Plans Things, which
Yeah.
is becoming a weekly segment.
Yeah, we're gonna start. And maybe we'll like post some pictures on the website or the Facebook page or.
Yeah, here's a picture of the dark we're floating in.
Yes, here's a picture of the tank.
All right. Well, I got.
There we go.
Yeah. Cryo.
Cryo.
Can you just give me the money and I'll just throw ice at you?
No. Minus 245 degrees.
The ice is really cold. It's 32. Check us out at thisweekinfilm.com. Find us on all the social media things. If you're listening to us on a podcast radio network, you can check us out here every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock now. We're on anywhere you can find a podcast. I guess that's about it.
Please bear with us if we're absent for a week.
Yeah, that's why
Or two.
that's why we're giving you these supersized episodes.
Yeah, so maybe you can listen to half of it and then listen to the other half another day, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's the end of the reel, who's this guy?
Oh no, what's happening? Should we cut or should we wait to see what this guy's doing?
Nope. Let's
play this out. Let's play this out.
It's like an old lady.
What's happening here?
Hold on.
Oh,
Another one of our fans.
that might be my mom. She said she wanted to bring like brownies. And
What?
she's very happy we have the show.
I don't know what that means. Well, if that's the end of the reel,
Wait.
We'll see you next week.
On This Week in Film.
no.